I am highly skeptical of anything supernatural, especially UFOs. However, I experienced something on June 10, 1990 that I am still unable to understand how or why it occurred. I was walking through a golf course in Philadelphia around 11 p.m. with my girlfriend and dog. We were bored and it was always enjoyable to take in the tranquility of the golf course at night. So, at one point, everything became very quiet. The frogs and insects stopped whatever sounds they were making. Just then, a band of yellow light came down from the night sky. It was perhaps 50 feet in front of us and to our right. I would estimate it was about the circumference of a large trash can. The light shone directly down, then scanned along the grass for about 20, then up a group of trees. It didn't make a sound. It was as if it was searching for something like a helicopter would. But there was no sound. It lasted about 10 seconds, then the light turned off. I ran over to see if the grass or trees had been disturbed in any way, but they were not. What's especially puzzling is the site was almost in the middle of the golf course, so there was no way the light could have been from a reflection from passing cars or by someone in a nearby home shining a light. This, obviously, was long before drones were invented and commercially available. And any drone that could have existed would have made some sound. My then girlfriend saw the same thing I did, so it wasn't just some personal delusion. Neither of us were drinking or had ever taken any drugs. After the light disappeared, the frogs and insects began chirping again. I've heard of ball lighting that is random and has somewhat of the same characteristics of what we had seen. But this light was scanning and was a shaft and not a ball of electricity. I'm wondering if there are any natural phenomena that could possibly explain what we observed. I was traveling back home from Chennai one night and boarded a train to Coimbatore. Since I hadn't reserved a ticket, I got into the general coach, expecting a gruesome journey ahead. I stood for almost 6 hours with barely enough space to keep my foot. To make things worse, I had only slept for about 4 hours the previous night and had done a fair amount of walking that day. Needless to say, I was completely exhausted and in dire need of some sleep. So, after the train left Salem, I decided to get off at a road, the next stop, and take a bus. Once I stepped onto a road, I sat on a chair on the platform, removed my shoes and stretched my arms and legs. Some much needed rest. I also found out that there are a couple of trains to Coimbatore arriving in a few minutes' time and decided to wait to see if there would be seats available on those. Thankfully, the next train's general coach was relatively empty and I saw a few seats free. So I got in, sat down near a looking like a college-going boy and his father, I think, and instantly went to sleep with my head resting on my bag, which was on my lap. Perfectly normal, thank you very much. The next thing I remember, I'm on a platform with some random thoughts flowing through my head. Everything was vague, as though in a dream. These were the kind of thoughts inside my head. Which place is this? Did I pass my station? Even though Coimbatore was the last stop, no, I didn't, I should get onto the train. The next thing I remember, I was on my seat looking perplexed as to what had just happened. I looked to my left and right. I saw the boy and his father looking a bit awkwardly at me, I think so. Again, I was not completely in my senses. It was Tirupur, the only stop between the two stations. Weirdly enough, I also noticed that I was not sitting on the seat that I had previously been sitting on. I was now absolutely bamboozled. I had no idea whatsoever as to what was happening. Was it a dream? Had I, somehow, sleepwalked on from a train? What the fuck? But I was too tired to think further and went back to sleep. No more creepy incidents after that. When I reached Coimbatore, I tried to recollect what happened to me, but could not assemble the jigsaw. To this day, I have no idea what hit.